Have you ever wondered why one short message makes a man think about a woman all day, while another long message is forgotten in seconds? The answer is not beauty, luck, or magic. It is strategy. The person who understands the hidden rules of communication often controls the relationship without raising their voice. Most people believe texting is just about sending words. Machiavellian thinking teaches something different. Every message creates a feeling. Every feeling changes perception, and perception becomes reality. The person who shapes reality quietly gains influence. This is why some people never chase attention, yet attention follows them everywhere. They do not text more. They text smarter. Today you will discover 13 texting secrets that quietly capture a man's mind without looking desperate, without begging for validation, and without losing your own dignity. These are not tricks for manipulation. They are lessons about psychology, self-control, and human nature. Once you understand them, you will never look at texting the same way again. The first secret is simple but powerful. Never make your availability too easy to predict. Human beings naturally value what cannot be fully controlled. When every message receives an instant reply, there is no mystery. There is no emotional movement. The conversation becomes as ordinary as the weather. Machiavelli understood that predictable people are easy to overlook because they create no uncertainty. Uncertainty keeps attention alive. This does not mean ignoring someone to play childish games. It means having a real life that does not stop every time your phone lights up. A woman who has her own goals, hobbies, and priorities naturally replies when she has time, instead of when anxiety tells her to. That calm behavior sends a silent message. It says, "My world is already full." Confidence is often communicated through timing more than words. Men notice this even if they cannot explain it. The second secret is to let curiosity work for you, instead of doing all the work yourself. Many people reveal everything in the first few conversations. They tell every story, every opinion, every future plan, and every emotion before the other person has invested anything. The mystery disappears before attraction has time to grow. Curiosity is like a bridge. It invites someone to walk toward you. If you build the entire bridge alone, the other person never has to take a single step. Instead of explaining every detail, leave small spaces. If he asks what made you smile today, you do not always need a 10-minute story. Sometimes a simple answer like, "I'll tell you later. It's a funny story" creates more interest than a long paragraph. Curiosity keeps conversations alive, because the human brain naturally wants unfinished stories to become complete. The third secret is emotional balance. Most people text according to their emotions. When they feel excited, they send 10 messages. When they feel ignored, they send emotional paragraphs. When they feel insecure, they ask for reassurance again and again. This gives emotions complete control over communication. Machiavellian thinking teaches the opposite. Your emotions should inform your decisions, not control them. A calm message has more power than an emotional speech. Imagine two people after a delayed reply. One sends, "Why are you ignoring me? Did I do something wrong?" The other simply continues the conversation naturally. When the reply finally comes, which person appears stronger? Which person seems more secure? Calmness creates authority, because it shows that your peace does not depend on another person's immediate attention. The fourth secret is to reward effort instead of chasing attention. Many people accidentally teach others to invest less. They continue carrying every conversation, even when the other person contributes almost nothing. They ask every question. They start every chat. They create every topic. Over time, the relationship becomes one-sided because the pattern has already been established. Instead, notice effort. When someone genuinely shows interest, respond warmly. When effort disappears completely, stop carrying the entire conversation alone. Healthy attraction grows where investment grows. People often value relationships more when they have contributed something meaningful to them. If one person always does all the emotional work, the balance slowly disappears. The fifth secret is learning the power of silence. Most people fear silence because they believe every pause means something is wrong. They rush to fill every empty space with another message. They double text. They triple text. They explain themselves when no explanation was needed. Silence itself is not rejection. Sometimes people are busy. Sometimes they are thinking. Sometimes life simply happens. A person who remains calm during silence demonstrates emotional strength. They do not panic. They do not create unnecessary drama. Ironically, this quiet confidence often becomes more attractive than constant conversation, because it communicates inner stability. The sixth secret is to avoid making every conversation about the relationship itself. Some people spend more time discussing feelings than creating experiences. Every chat becomes, "What are we? Do you still like me? Where is this going?" while important conversations have their place. Attraction usually grows through shared emotions, rather than endless analysis. Talk about interesting ideas. Share funny observations. Discuss dreams, travel, books, challenges, or unexpected moments from the day. A relationship feels lighter when conversations create positive emotions, instead of constant pressure. People remember how you made them feel much longer than the exact words you used. The seventh secret is selective praise. Compliments are valuable only when they feel genuine. Endless praise loses its meaning because it becomes expected. Instead of complimenting everything, notice specific qualities. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," you might appreciate how calmly someone handled a difficult situation, or how passionately they speak about their goals. Specific compliments feel real because they show attention rather than habit. Genuine appreciation builds stronger emotional connections than exaggerated admiration. When praise becomes rare but sincere, it carries more emotional weight. The eighth secret is confidence without competition. Some people believe they must constantly prove their value through achievements, popularity, or attention from others. They try to make someone jealous. They show off every success. They subtly compare themselves with everyone around them. True confidence does not need constant advertisement. Machiavellian wisdom reminds us that real power often works quietly. A confident person does not need to announce their importance, because their behavior already reflects it. They speak with calmness. They listen carefully. They avoid unnecessary arguments. They know their value without demanding everyone else repeat it. This quiet confidence becomes difficult to ignore because it feels authentic rather than forced. These first 8 secrets reveal one important truth. Attraction is rarely built by saying more. It is built by communicating self-respect, emotional control, and genuine curiosity through small daily actions. Most people focus on finding perfect words, but powerful communication begins long before the message is written. It begins with the mindset of the person holding the phone. In the next part, we will explore the remaining secrets that make conversations unforgettable and reveal why the strongest influence is often the one nobody notices until it is already working. The 9th secret is to make every conversation move somewhere instead of allowing it to circle around the same boring topics. Many people spend weeks sending the same messages every day. "Good morning, how was your day? What are you doing?" These questions are not wrong, but if they become the entire conversation, they slowly lose their emotional value. A conversation should create movement. It should reveal something new, inspire a new thought, or create a new emotion. A simple question like, "What is one lesson you wish you had learned 5 years earlier?" creates far more connection than another routine greeting. People remember conversations that make them think differently. They forget conversations that sound exactly like yesterday. Machiavellian thinking is about creating influence, and influence grows when every interaction leaves a lasting impression. The 10th secret is understanding the power of emotional contrast. Human memory does not hold on to moments that feel exactly the same. It remembers change. A conversation that moves from humor to curiosity, from confidence to sincerity, becomes much harder to forget. Imagine spending an entire evening laughing, then ending the conversation with one thoughtful question about dreams or personal goals. That emotional shift creates depth. It shows that you are not limited to one personality. You can be playful without being immature. You can be serious without becoming negative. Emotional variety keeps conversations alive because people become curious about which side of you they will discover next. Predictability often creates comfort, but emotional balance creates fascination. The 11th secret is knowing when to end the conversation first. Most people continue texting until there is nothing interesting left to say. They keep sending messages simply because they do not want the conversation to end. Eventually, both people begin replying with short answers that carry little emotion. The excitement slowly disappears. Sometimes the smartest decision is ending the conversation while the energy is still high. Leave after sharing a good laugh, an interesting story, or a meaningful idea. This leaves a positive emotional memory, instead of allowing boredom to replace excitement. A conversation that ends at the right moment often creates anticipation for the next one. Scarcity increases value, because the mind naturally wants more of something enjoyable that ended too soon. Machiavelli understood that timing is often more powerful than force. The same principle applies to communication. Saying the right thing at the wrong time loses much of its power. Saying less at the right moment often creates a stronger effect than speaking endlessly. This is why wise people do not measure success by how long a conversation lasts. They measure it by how memorable it becomes. The 12th secret is protecting your emotional independence. One of the fastest ways to lose influence is making another person's responses determine your happiness. Imagine waking up in a good mood, then becoming anxious because someone has not replied for 3 hours. Suddenly, your emotions belong to someone else. This is quiet dependence. It slowly weakens confidence, because your peace now depends on another person's actions. Strong people enjoy conversations, but they do not build their entire emotional world around them. If someone replies, they appreciate it. If someone is busy, they continue living their own life. Their goals, friendships, work, and personal growth remain unchanged. This emotional stability becomes attractive because it communicates maturity. It says, I value connection, but I also value myself. Many people confuse attention with affection. Attention is easy to receive. Someone can text all day while feeling very little emotional investment. Affection is different. It grows through respect, consistency, and positive experiences over time. Never mistake constant notifications for genuine connection. A quiet person who respects you may care far more than someone who floods your phone every hour. Judge actions over long periods instead of temporary excitement. Human nature often hides truth behind emotion, but time always reveals real intentions. The 13th secret is becoming unforgettable by being authentic, instead of trying to become perfect. This may sound surprising in a discussion inspired by strategy, but it is one of the deepest principles. Many people spend so much energy trying to appear flawless that they become impossible to connect with. Every message feels carefully designed. Every opinion feels rehearsed. Every response feels calculated. Perfection creates distance because it feels artificial. Confidence allows small imperfections to exist naturally. Laugh at yourself sometimes. Admit when you do not know something. Share honest opinions respectfully. Real confidence does not fear being human. Machiavellian wisdom is often misunderstood as endless manipulation. In reality, one of the greatest forms of power is understanding people without becoming controlled by them. Strategy is not about wearing a mask every day. It is about controlling yourself instead of allowing emotions to control you. The person who masters self-control rarely needs manipulation because their calm presence already creates influence. Think about the people who naturally attract respect wherever they go. They are usually not the loudest. They are not constantly asking for attention. They do not panic over delayed replies. They do not chase people who repeatedly show no interest. They invest where respect already exists. This mindset changes every conversation because it changes the person behind the messages. There is another mistake many people make. They believe attraction can be created through endless effort alone. They think that if they send enough funny messages, enough compliments, enough emojis, enough emotional paragraphs, Eventually, the other person will become deeply interested. Unfortunately, human psychology rarely works that way. Attraction cannot be forced into existence. Communication can reveal attraction, strengthen attraction, or weaken attraction, but it cannot manufacture genuine feelings where respect and compatibility do not exist. This understanding protects your dignity. Instead of asking, "How do I make someone like me?" a stronger question becomes, "Does this connection bring out the best in both of us?" That small change completely transforms your mindset. Instead of performing for approval, you begin observing compatibility. Instead of chasing validation, you evaluate character. This is a position of strength because you stop seeing yourself as someone waiting to be chosen. You become someone making thoughtful choices as well. Strong communicators also understand another hidden principle. They do not argue through text unless absolutely necessary. Text messages remove facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language. A harmless sentence can sound cold. A joke can sound insulting. A short reply can appear angry when no anger exists. Sensitive conversations deserve real conversations whenever possible. Wisdom means choosing the right tool for the right situation. Not every misunderstanding should be solved through a screen. Another habit of emotionally intelligent people is that they never send messages while overwhelmed by anger. Emotions are temporary, but written words often remain forever. A message written in frustration may take 30 seconds to send but months to repair. Calm people understand that waiting is sometimes the most powerful response. They give themselves time until emotion becomes clarity. Then they communicate with purpose instead of impulse. As these principles come together, a new picture begins to appear. Great texting is not about discovering magical words that hypnotize someone. It is about becoming the kind of person whose messages naturally reflect confidence, patience, curiosity, emotional balance, and self-respect. The words matter, but the mindset behind those words matters even more. In the final part, we will bring all 13 secrets together into one complete philosophy and reveal why the people who seem hardest to forget are often the ones who never tried too hard to be remembered. Now step back and look at the complete picture. These 13 texting secrets are not separate tricks. They are pieces of one powerful principle. The strongest position in any relationship belongs to the person who can guide their own emotions before trying to influence someone else's. Most people spend their energy asking, "What message should I send next?" Very few stop and ask, "What kind of person is sending this message?" That question changes everything. Your words are only the surface. Your mindset is the foundation. If the foundation is built on fear, your messages will quietly reveal fear. If it is built on confidence, patience, and self-respect, your messages will quietly reveal strength. Machiavelli understood a truth that still exists today. People often judge confidence before they judge intelligence. They notice emotional stability before they notice clever words. This is why two people can send almost the same message and receive completely different reactions. One message feels needy because it comes from insecurity. The other feels attractive because it comes from calm confidence. The words may look similar, but the energy behind them is completely different. Never make the mistake of believing that influence comes from controlling other people. Real influence begins with controlling yourself. The person who cannot control impatience will send messages they later regret. The person who cannot control jealousy will create unnecessary conflict. The person who cannot control loneliness will accept disrespect simply to avoid being alone. Self-control protects your dignity long before it improves your relationships. Think about how many people lose their power because they react too quickly. A delayed reply becomes a personal insult. A short answer becomes proof that love is fading. One missed call becomes the beginning of endless assumptions. Most emotional suffering does not come from facts. It comes from stories the mind creates before knowing the truth. A disciplined person refuses to become a prisoner of imagination. They wait for evidence before reaching conclusions. This is where patience becomes one of the greatest forms of strength. Patience is not weakness. Patience is controlled power. Anyone can react immediately. Very few can remain calm while uncertainty exists. That calmness protects judgment. It prevents emotional mistakes that can damage valuable connections. There is another lesson hidden inside every successful conversation. Respect always comes before attraction. Many people chase attraction while ignoring respect. They tolerate rude behavior because they hope things will improve later. They ignore broken promises because they fear losing the relationship. They accept one-sided effort because they believe love requires endless sacrifice. But relationships built without mutual respect eventually become exhausting. Attraction may begin a connection, but respect allows it to survive. This is why your standards matter. Standards are not walls that keep good people away. They are filters that keep unhealthy behavior from becoming normal. Every time you accept repeated disrespect, you quietly teach someone how to treat you. Every time you protect your boundaries calmly and respectfully, you teach them that your self-respect is not negotiable. Many people misunderstand boundaries. They think boundaries are about controlling others. In reality, boundaries control your own decisions. They are quiet promises you make to yourself. They say, if this behavior continues, I know how I will respond. You cannot force another person to change, but you can always choose how much access they have to your time, attention, and emotional energy. Another principle that many people ignore is the value of absence. Absence is not about disappearing to create anxiety. It is about living a life meaningful enough that your happiness continues even when no conversation is happening. A full life naturally creates attractive energy because it removes desperation. When your identity depends on constant messages, every silence feels painful. When your identity is built on purpose, growth, friendships, family, and personal goals, texting becomes one enjoyable part of life instead of the center of it. People are naturally drawn toward those who appear emotionally complete. This does not mean pretending you need nobody. Human beings are built for connection. It simply means your happiness is shared with others rather than borrowed from them. That difference is enormous. Borrowed happiness disappears the moment attention disappears. Inner happiness remains steady regardless of temporary silence. There is also wisdom in accepting that not every connection is meant to last. One of the greatest mistakes people make is trying to save every relationship at any cost. Sometimes two people simply want different things. Sometimes timing is wrong. Sometimes values do not match. Sometimes effort exists on only one side. Knowing when to let go is just as important as knowing when to hold on. Machiavellian thinking teaches practicality. Do not waste endless energy fighting battles that cannot be won. Invest where there is mutual respect, shared effort, and genuine interest. Leave situations where your dignity must be sacrificed just to keep the conversation alive. Walking away from unhealthy dynamics is not failure. It is wisdom. Remember something else that powerful communicators understand. Listening creates more influence than endless speaking. During conversations, many people are simply waiting for their turn to reply. They do not truly listen. They prepare their next sentence while the other person is still talking. Genuine attention has become rare. When someone feels deeply understood, they naturally feel closer to the person who listened. Good communication is not measured by how much you say. It is measured by how well you understand. Humility also plays an important role. Confidence without humility easily becomes arrogance. Arrogance pushes people away because it demands admiration without earning trust. Quiet confidence is different. It never needs to prove superiority. It remains respectful, curious, and emotionally balanced. Strong people are comfortable admitting mistakes because they know one mistake does not define their worth. As you continue improving your communication, remember that consistency always defeats intensity. Grand romantic messages sent once every few months cannot replace daily respect. Dramatic promises cannot replace reliable actions. Human beings trust patterns more than speeches. Your behavior over time becomes your true message. Every calm response, every honest conversation, every respectful boundary slowly builds a reputation that words alone never could. Imagine two different people. The first constantly sends exciting messages, but often disappears, breaks promises, creates unnecessary drama, and reacts emotionally to small problems. The second communicates calmly, keeps their word, respects boundaries, and remains emotionally stable, even during difficult moments. Which person would you trust more after 1 year? The answer is obvious. Reliability quietly defeats excitement when real relationships are built. Technology has changed the speed of communication, but it has not changed human nature. People still seek respect. They still remember how someone made them feel. They still admire confidence, honesty, emotional stability, and genuine kindness. Phones may become smarter but the human heart still responds to the same timeless principles. So before sending your next message, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a different question. Instead of asking, will this make them like me? Ask, does this message reflect the person I want to become? That single habit protects your dignity, while improving every relationship in your life. The greatest secret was never hidden inside perfect words. It was hidden inside character. Texting is only a tool. Character is the hand that uses it. Build patience before urgency. Build confidence before attention. Build self-respect before attachment. Build purpose before romance. When those foundations become part of your life, your messages naturally become stronger because they are no longer trying to create value. They are simply revealing the value that already exists within you. That is the quiet lesson behind all 13 secrets. The people who are hardest to resist are rarely the ones chasing admiration. They are the ones who have mastered themselves. They communicate with intention instead of impulse. They choose dignity over desperation, patience over panic, clarity over confusion, and self-respect over temporary validation. In the end, the most powerful message you will ever send is not written on a screen. It is written by the way you live every single day. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next video. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these 13 texting secrets do you think is the most powerful? If you found this valuable, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.